It all started on a blistering summer morning when HOA Karen called 911, demanding I leave my ranch immediately because her son needed it. I was standing on the porch, sipping my coffee, watching her stomp up the long driveway like she owned the place. She had that look, self-righteous, indignant, and entirely convinced that rules she invented in her mind applied to everyone else. Her entourage of board members, clipboards clutched in sweaty hands, fanned out behind her, scanning the property as if they were preparing for a military operation rather than a suburban dispute. "Step aside," she barked, waving her phone like a weapon. "You have no right to be here. This property must be vacated immediately." I set my mug down, smiled, and crossed my arms. "Funny," I said, "because everything you see here is legally mine. That includes the driveway you're standing on, the cabin up the hill, and the solar pumps keeping this property alive. By the way, your son's need doesn't override ownership." Karen's face twisted. She sputtered, "I'm calling the authorities. They'll make you leave." I leaned back against the railing. "Go ahead. I've got everything documented, the deeds, the water rights, the access permits. Call them. I'm happy to explain why you've trespassed," repeatedly. Undeterred, she dialed furiously, muttering to the board members that the police would take care of it. Meanwhile, I strolled down to the gate, unlocked it, and casually walked the perimeter, checking motion sensors I had strategically installed. The HOA had no idea that every inch of the property was monitored, recorded, and legally protected. Cameras silently captured every step, every glare, every muttered insult from Karen and her gang. By late morning, the first responders arrived. 2 sheriff's deputies stepped out of their cruiser, hands on hips, ready to enforce what they thought might be a simple neighborhood dispute. I greeted them warmly, handing over a folder with deeds, legal notices, and photographs showing the boundaries of my property. "Everything is clearly documented," I explained. "This ranch is mine, the driveway is mine, and any attempt to force me out would constitute trespassing." The deputies glanced at Karen, who was now turning red with frustration. "She's lying," Karen shouted. "This is HOA property." One deputy shook his head. "Ma'am, we can't enforce something that's not legally yours. You're trespassing right now." Karen gasped and waved her arms, but I could see her confidence unraveling. That's when I casually mentioned the solar pumps running irrigation, the water feeding nearby emergency hydrants, and the property security system, all under my control. "Funny," I said. "Your neighborhood depends on infrastructure that I maintain. Cut me out, and you lose more than you realize." By afternoon, Karen had tried multiple tactics, threatening fines, sending board members to inspect the property, even attempting to place a temporary notice of violation on my gate. Each attempt backfired spectacularly. Her own board members began whispering among themselves, realizing that her aggression was getting them nowhere. I decided to let the lesson sink in. I walked the property with a calm authority, checking fences, locks, and cameras, while Karen fumed, pacing in circles, and dialing more calls that led nowhere. Her 911 calls were politely recorded and then dismissed, while her complaints to the HOA board achieved nothing. They couldn't legally touch my property. By evening, the sun dipped low over the ranch, casting golden light across the fields. Karen had retreated to her SUV, muttering threats and waving her clipboard in vain. I leaned on the porch railing, sipping a fresh cup of coffee, knowing the ranch was safe. Every structure, every gate, every inch of land remained firmly in my control. The neighborhood had watched the entire spectacle unfold. Whispers of awe and disbelief spread as word got around that HOA Karen had attempted the impossible, to seize what wasn't hers. By nightfall, she was gone, humiliated, and the property quiet once again. My ranch, my rules, my victory, untouchable, undeniable, and fully documented. Little did she know, this was only the beginning of the year-long battle she had ignited, one that would escalate with every petty action she attempted. And every single time, she would learn the hard way that I was always 3 steps ahead.